Inflation station, what's your invocation? Guys, we're going to be talking about inflation. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin and other cryptos and their massive price movement upwards, not just now, but going forward, and talking about pretty much everything that has to do with money. Money, 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 money! Money! Stay tuned for more. Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. Happy Tuesday, April 9th, 2019. And today we're going to be talking about hyperinflation. We're going to be talking about price. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about cash, fiat. We're going to be talking about a lot of these things and how they all are intertwining together. All right, so let's get to it. Well, the story last week was that Trump announced QE4. QE, more QE. I've been saying this for a while, so, again, him saying that that's what we need to do, it doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, he even went into pretty much slight detail. What did he say? He's like, oh, we need to start buying back our own bonds. Remember, I've been talking about this forever and ever. And again, not just me, really, Gregory Mannarino, the other YouTuber, the financial YouTuber that I'm always telling you guys to check out. He, obviously, has been right. I've been, relaying this information now. Again, I'm not trying to be a genius out here. Again, just listening to a guy with a plastic horse and an upside down computer. But the point I'm trying to make is that, even me can, come to, the obvious conclusion of what's going on. And just by even looking at history, and we get to see this movie over and over and over and over and over again. So, again, people that don't really see what's going on, either A, they're just not educated on the subject, which is totally fine. There's a lot of people out there that are still not educated on money, on currency, on everything that's happening in the world today when it comes to the economy and economics. And that's not their fault. It's no one's fault, and it's the fault of the state for not educating everyone else out there properly. But when you understand the real, the system and the systematics and everything that has to do with it, you understand why they don't want to teach the people about these things. So right now what we're witnessing is just, again, the cycle is continuing. As I see the things that are happening, I realize more and more every day that my predictions, just like a lot of people out there that follow this shit, our predictions are just going to be even more on point. Why? Because everything we've said so far has gradually been coming true, and it's continuing to happen, and so on and so forth. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about my own personal edumacation. Okay, so just like you guys, I watch YouTube videos and other YouTubers and so on and so forth. I like to focus a lot on YouTubers that are on the other side of the world. I mean, I watch YouTubers from everywhere, but recently in the last months and so on and so forth, I've been listening to a lot of YouTubers that are in Asia or Russia or what have you. And just because of the algorithms, you get recommendations. So I got this channel that's recommended to me. I forgot what the name of it was, but it was just like about facts about Russia. And it was just some chick, talking about Russia, just talking about history of Russia and how things are in Russia right now and before and stuff like that. And to me, I find this stuff interesting. And in fact, I've been watching a lot of Russia stuff. Just YouTubers doing Russia things. So just like YouTuber walking around St. Petersburg and showing the restaurant, or just a vlogger only out there. Or people that travel through that area. And this morning, as I was waiting for something to do, to finish on my computer, I was watching this short video on Russia, about the chick just giving fun facts on Russia, and I was just thinking to myself as I'm listening to this, I'm like, man, why am I kind of like so obsessed, or not obsessed, but like, why am I looking at all these Russia stuff? You know what I mean? Like a lot more now than I ever was before. Why am I more interested in this now? What's going on? And the reality is just that just by watching this girl that was just giving facts, just fun facts, kind of like a Vox or a Vice News, more fun, type. But it was just a fun little channel with like graphics and just like little things about Russia. And I realize is because as she's talking about modern Russia, as by the way, not just she, there's other people out there, but you know, as they're talking about modern Russia, as they're talking about the things that are happening in Russia on all spectrums, the Soviet Union and Soviet Russia is still very ingrained in people's memories from back then. You know, so even today, you know what I mean, 20 years later, 25 years later, give or take, but 20 years later, people are still, this memory is very fresh to some people, while others, you know, are completely forgotten about it. It's been 20 years. You know, just like the YouTuber was saying, she grew up in the old, you know, old Soviet Union and then grew up in the new Russia. And, but anyway, just to come full circle, why I realize why I am so intrigued by these videos and this knowledge right now is because what is happening in Russia, okay, what happened in Russia, what happened in Russia that got, you know, the whole nation to become communist for like about 80 to 100 years was, you know, the same things that are happening with the US at the moment. Literally, at the before communism was instilled in Russia, all the things that were happening before the communism was instilled are the things that are happening right now in the United States of America. And so again, if we're just following history, we see that we are as a United States and even Europe, but especially the United States at the moment, but again, both, I'm not excluding either, but the United States is going on a very dangerous path, you know, as to, you know, just like just like the Mother Russia, just like the USSR, the Soviet Union became communist. All right, and right now, why I'm so intrigued, you know, by these videos of Russia and just modern Russia is because they are 20 years removed from the communism. They broke away from the communism, and now they are restarting their cycle again. So when I look at Russia today, I'm literally looking at the, you know, I'm looking at how far the United States needs to get. All right, like it's just like this whole it just seems like a million miles away. It seems like forever, you know, ago. It seems like it's so far away from where we are right now. And you know, knowing that they had to go through this full cycle, and knowing that the United States has still not even finished a full cycle yet, and in order for the whole system to really collapse, you know, the dollar has to collapse, the economy has to collapse, a lot of things have to collapse. And remember, the dollar is king. The dollar's not going to fall any further. I mean, it's not going to fall, you know, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. It's going to continue falling, but what I'm saying, it's not going to fall within our lifetime. That's not what I meant either. It's not, I'm sorry, I got distracted by something. It's not going to fall anytime soon. All right, that's what I mean. The dollar's not going to be falling anytime soon. Like I said, I would give it maybe a decade, 8 years, give or take. It's going to be a little while. And why do I say that? Because again, it's not just what we were talking about at the very beginning, what Trump was going to do, what Trump is doing and pushing QE. And when you're looking at the central bankers and what they're doing with QE and so on and so forth. And but one of the main things that really hit me, you know, why I'm making today's episode is because one of the things that I was listening to yesterday, but mainly today, I was listening to Kevin Hart on Joe Rogan. And, you know, it was just an interview. You know, Kevin Hart, fucking super motivational, super great guy, hilarious guy. Joe Rogan, same thing. You know, so it was a great podcast. It was just, you know, two individuals talking, hashing it out. But one of the things that Kevin Hart said in the interview that just blew my fucking mind, and he said it again at the end of the interview, which makes me think that he was there for an agenda, not knowingly. Again, this is not Kevin Hart's fault at all. I don't, you know, again, Kevin Hart is just like anybody else out there, just trying to do something positive and do something great. And just because he has not educated himself on this subject, because again, anyone that's really educated on currency, money, and everything that we're at right now, we know that it took a very long time to really understand this shit. So let's just go back to where Kevin Hart is at. Kevin Hart said, pretty much verbatim, that he had a meeting with J.P. Morgan and specifically Jamie Dimon. Why? He went through the whole process as to what it means to be poor. I think I've talked to you guys about this before, but what it means to be poor, where first of all, either you're too poor to get a bank account, meaning that the bank doesn't want to even touch you or give you a bank account because you are too poor, or B, you don't trust the banking system enough to give them your check or your money or exchange your money because they're not going to give you your money. So that's the hood mentality. I come from hood mentality. I used to cash my checks at the check cashing stores like a lot of people do, and take whatever $30, $40 out of my check just to give me my money right now, and so on and so forth. And again, we already discussed the two main reasons why people within the hood or people in certain areas don't have banks. So he was bringing that up, and he was bringing the fact that what needs to happen is education. Talking about education. Education is the most important thing. Blah blah blah. The whole thing. And then he brought up the fact of financial education, and this being part of the financial education. And what he and Jamie Dimon are going to do is that there are so many underserved people all across the United States of America that don't have access to a bank account. So guess what? They're going to have access to a bank account. They're going to start banking the unbanked. Now, again, yeah, right? Boof, mind-blowing, right? Mind-blowing in the sense that the banks, they know what they know that right now it's cryptocurrency is the next thing. And if the banks do not get to these people first, cryptocurrency will get to them. And if cryptocurrency gets to them first, then why the fuck would they ever want to go to the bank? Because remember, cryptocurrency is the flying car, and the bank is a regular car. So if all of a sudden you get the technology of a flying car and you're flying over traffic and you're doing everything, and all of a sudden you're hanging out with your flying car for a year now, and then all of a sudden, like, some car salesman says, hey, I'm gonna sell you this car. You're gonna go tell him to go fuck himself. You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me? I got a fucking helicopter. I got a flying car. Why the fuck would I want a car? So this is why you're seeing the banks all of a sudden retrace and starting to go hard, not just in the United States, but now let's move on to Mexico. I was reading another article in Mexico that now the banks are literally looking very seriously at what they did in India a couple years ago, where they eliminated cash, and they want to do that here. And they know there's going to be a giant clusterfuck, but hey, fuck it, hey, the banks think it's for the best. And by them doing that, they're going to start giving, cards, to people so that they can be digitally, so for example, like now old people, like someone, if you're living in a village in the middle of nowhere and you don't have a bank, and you're gonna get, and now the Mexican government is gonna start giving benefits to all kinds of poor people all over the place. Socialism. Again, it's welcome here because everyone's dirt poor. But anyways, the government said that the only way you're gonna be able to get these benefits now is if you sign up for the debit card, and then every month we will deposit that money in there for you. So you already know where that's going. All right, and they're going to start making it mandatory, for each individual out there to have some sort of digital imprint by the end of the year, September, October, whatever. And we're seeing everything, starting to culminate around September, October. We were talking about this last year, and sure enough, October was the time. And we already know this is all history, man. This is all fucking perfectly calculated. I'm not even going to go there anymore. All right, I'm not going to. You guys think whatever you want to think out there. You don't believe me, don't believe me, I don't care. The point is that, all this stuff has been, tried and true. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, where everything is panning towards September, October. So, again, whether it's what's happening in Mexico, what's happening in the US, what's happening in Europe, what's happening all these places, what the central banks are doing and so on and so forth, they're literally going hard against cryptos. The reason that they're not trading futures and all this stuff, even though they had the advantage of being able to control the price of Bitcoin and all this other stuff, they knew that that was only going to last a certain amount of time, because eventually once enough people got onto the system, they wouldn't be able to manipulate it anymore. So the banks got out of there. This is my speculation, as to why I think they did that. They got out of giving validity to cryptos and Bitcoin, because again, they either want to A, create their own JP Morgan coin, or B, create their own system, or C, you know what I mean, like just eliminate all this crypto nonsense and just again create the banking system for all these unbanked people, whatever. It's a combination of all these things, but regardless, they're doing they're literally everything but the kitchen sink. They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this problem. The bankers know that crypto's a problem, that all this stuff is a problem, and they need to deal with it, or else cryptos will deal with the banks. You follow me? We all know this. And so right now, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this massive power struggle that's happening, and I think that at the end of the day, cryptos are gonna win, because let's just fast forward to where we are right now with India. If we were just talking a few months ago, talking about India and what's going on with India and the crypto space, and not just India, but Iran and other places, in India, they were making cryptos illegal. Okay, and why? Again, just like here in Mexico, they want to make it illegal. They want to make it illegal in a lot of places. Again, certain places they can just say, okay, it's illegal, suck it. In the U.S. and other places, not so much. You already know why. But anyways, the point is that they did that, and I just heard yesterday. I don't know when these. Sorry, breathe. So I just heard yesterday that a few days ago in India there has been massive protests towards crypto. And I looked a little into that, and literally in Mumbai and I don't know, 3 major cities, three of the most largest cities in India had 3 different types of protests against the government, against cryptos, meaning that all these people were on the streets protesting the government on cryptos, meaning that all the people were in favor of cryptos. They understand cryptos and they know the importance of cryptos, and they're telling the government, hey, don't make this shit illegal. It's not going to work out for you, just like all these other things that you tried to do when you ban cash and so on and so forth. And all these groups had completely different protests, and they were all in favor of Bitcoin and crypto. So, we're witnessing all this insanity right in front of our eyes. Let's move to Venezuela for one quick minute, just a millisecond. Again, they've been trying to control, the crypto. The people around them have been trying to control, all that. And it's not just there, but other parts of the world. There's too much control. It's all about control. They realize, whether it's the central banks or governments, they all realize, and they're realizing very quickly that they are losing power. Okay? And there's not much they can do about it. It's just going to be a gradual death. And it's going to just, again, the banks are the Titanic, and crypto is the fucking iceberg. They already hit the fucking iceberg. It's going to sink. That's it. The end. Okay? And so that's where we're at right now. We just, the banks literally just hit the fucking iceberg, and yeah, it's going to be a while, but the Titanic is going to sink. Okay? These banks are going to sink. The whole thing is going to sink. And again, there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, banking isn't going to disappear. We're going to have banking in the future. I'm like, yeah, I think so too. I agree. It's going to be a different kind of bank. It's going to be a banking system that we're not going to recognize. But it's definitely not going to be the system we have today. And again, I'm just going to cut this short because we're already, running on time. But there's a lot of stuff going on all around the world right now. Mainly, again, with the U.S. and the printing of the dollar and the more printing of dollars and everything that's happening of printing of currency all over the world. We're seeing massive printing of currency all over the world. We're seeing every single bank, every single central bank, just like Gregory Mannarino says, I don't give a fuck what you guys think out there, every central bank is connected, with the exception of a handful, and we already know who these countries are. Cuba, Iran, Venezuela, and I forgot the other 2. But the point is that everyone else is connected. All right? And for the most part, they're all on the same team. There's a few out there, maybe China and so on and so forth, and Russia, that are not necessarily playing by the central banking rules, but if you really look down deep into what they're doing, they are. They're all in it for control. And the more they realize that they are losing control, the tighter the grip gets. But again, they're trying to grip water. So if you kind of hold your hands like this, you can hold water. But if you try to grip the water, it's going to go through your hands. And if you grip all the way, you lose all the water. You got nothing. All you got to do is all you got is wet hands. And that's what's happening right now. They're just gripping and gripping so hard that it's all just squeezing out of their hands, and that's it. But again, it's a big hand, it's a lot of water, and even once they squeeze all the way through, they're still going to have a wet hand. Horrible analogy, but I know you guys understand my insanity, all right? Anyways, guys, I really hope that today's episode was a little bit of an insight as to what's going on, what we're doing, where we are going with all of this, okay? So I want you guys to really understand what the banks are doing, what they're trying to do, and so on and so forth. The banks are not just doubling down, they're tripling, quadrupling, quintupling down, okay? They have nothing else. They're trying now very desperately to bank all of these groups and all of these people that before they were shunning away. But now that they realize that if they continue shunning these people away and not giving these people bank accounts, well, these people are going to get bank accounts one way or the other. And, you know, they're now desperately trying to get as many more people to be customers and to be part of the banking system. And the thing is reversed. Where before they wouldn't give it to certain people, they wouldn't give it to what. Now it's like they're giving it to fucking Lambo. Lambo has like 3 bank accounts. Fucking asshole. I got 0. Anyways, the point is that they're very desperately making a ginormous move on this because they know what the stakes are. They know, they already see the writing on the wall, and this is just their last ditch attempt, their Hail Mary, you know, and that's it. And all this is going to do is just going to prolong and extend the life of these banks. But guys, this is just, again, a Hail Mary. It's not going to win the game. You know, the banks are down by 30 points and there's only 1 minute left in the football game. It's not, they're just not going to, it's not, you know, they can make a few attempts and get the game kind of close, you know, a few onside kicks, a few, you know, lucky shots, but that's it. It's game over for them. They know that. And they're just trying to, you know, call all the timeouts, have an injury on the field. They're doing everything humanly possible to not end the game. Okay? But the game's coming to an end. For them. Not for all of us. For us, we want this game to end so that we can start the next game. Okay? And there's some of us out here, like me and a bunch of you guys out there, that, you know, we're already playing the next game. We're already playing the next game. We just happen to be stuck here. All right? But we're already playing the next game. All right? So, guys, get ready and start preparing for the next game. All right? Do whatever it is you got to do. But guys, just know that all this stuff is all transitioning right in front of our eyes. We're going to see things that we never thought in a million years that we would ever witness or see or anything. Not just in other parts of the world, but in our own world, in our own little bubble, in our own little universe, in our own little backyard. Everything is changing, okay? It literally is. So please, stop looking at the Kardashians. Get off of Netflix. Get off of all of this crap. No more CNN. No more any of that shit. And just start looking around. Okay? Looking around the world. Looking at really what the hell's going on. And trying to immerse yourself in what's going on. Don't miss out. Because all this is going to happen whether you are looking or not. And if you're not looking, by the time this stuff affects you, it's gonna hit you like a ton of bricks, like a sucker punch, and you're not gonna know what hit you. Okay, so at least educate yourself on what's coming, so that way when that punch is coming, hey, you could get hit, but at the same time you could bob and weave, and maybe punch back, all right, and knock them out. So I'm just saying, you know what you got to do, all right? So, all right, guys. I'm gonna end it here. Went a little longer than what I usually wanted to go, but it's all right. It's a good episode. I think I had some good thoughts to say. Deep Thoughts with Jack Candy. Deep Thoughts with Jose Arteaga. Remember that? Okay. Well, anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon. You know, oh, guys. Thank you so much for all your patronage. Thank you so much for helping me. I'm still a few dollars short of, you know, taking care of that situation that I've had for a couple weeks. But guys, you know, I just haven't mentioned it too much because, you know, I hate asking and I hate talking about it. But again, every donation, anything you could send helps a lot, especially right now because I'm dealing with that situation. But you guys have been beyond amazing. You know, everyone that's donated so far, everyone that's helped me so far in every capacity. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Lambo thanks you even more. He was scared. He was scared he was going to be left alone. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys mañana, live on air, on YouTube. Probably 11 in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. See you tomorrow.